Boom shakalaka.
Oh my God. I wasn't ready for that.
You weren't ready for the boom? Here comes the boom. Ready or not.
I feel like after being at PRGE, though, you should be used to having that like kind of yelled in your vicinity 80 times a day.
Boom shakalaka.
Yeah.
Agent Nil, thank you very much for that Prime subscription, bud. 6 months. Thank you.
Thank you.
6 months.
Did you see the animation that just came up on screen?
It was Donkey Kong.
Huh. It's like it's a precursor to something.
Oh shit.
Huh.
Steve Wiebe? Is Steve Wiebe gonna be on the podcast?
Oh my God! No, we got Billy Mitchell tonight. Tune in. Everybody's like, nope.
So, why are you such a piece of shit?
That's objective. Buy my hot sauce.
Mad Milkman says, so you guys are just going to skip new releases this week, right? Because why bother? Nothing good.
Not a damn thing that's good.
I can't. I thought I would just work a bunch of overtime this week instead. Oh, wait, I'll probably do that anyway.
We're shocked. Shocked, we tell you, that this episode is even going to make it out on Friday.
Actually, you want to know what? I can't even play the game until Saturday.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Because editing on Thursday, and then right after work at Friday, I have to go to a family function.
Oh, well, tell them that you've got more important things to do.
I would love to, but that's what I told them last week.
Oh.
Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to Photoshop a COVID test in your hand. A positive one. Send it to them. Be like,
next level thinking. I see.
I got the black lung, Pop.
Actually, except for I think I already had it, and I told them I already had it. I guess I could say that I still have it. Like, look, I got it again.
Right. You can't get double COVIDed, man.
I got the double COVID.
Did you see what Coffee Puff? Go away, Peyton. Really playing Silksong.
And Zach says, doesn't Orange Crush give a positive COVID test?
Ooh, I don't know.
And Satisfaction says, it's just family blues. Silksong is Silksong.
Silksong for
and
life.
You know what? You're not wrong, Satisfaction. I need to put some serious thought into this the next day.
You're lucky that your family aren't gamers too, because like if all of a sudden it popped up and be like, Blue is now online.
No, are you kidding? I have my profile on every console set to private.
So nobody can see me gaming.
What I'm doing. Yep.
My kids ask me where I'm going to buy. They're like, hey, are you buying Silksong? I was like, yeah, probably, because it's only $20. It's $19. That's crazy. And they're like, well, Dad, my son asked my other son, well, are you buying it? He's like, no, why would I do that if Dad's buying it? And my oldest looked at my youngest. He's like, well, he's probably buying it on his PC. And then he looked at me and he's like, where are you buying it at? I'm like, I don't know. Because I could either buy it on the Switch, I could buy it on the PS5, or I could be selfish and buy it on my Steam account that only my oldest has access to.
Selfish.
No, I'm not going to do that.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and kick this off?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. Welcome to Gamers Week podcast. Like the name says, we analyze the best, the worst, and the weirdest headlines of the past week in the video game industry. That was episode 181, and today is Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025. My name is Ryan, aka Retro Game Brews, and I'll be your host for this evening. But I have two absolutely amazing folks with me here today. First up, we have recently heard word from the Council of Patriarchs has recently nominated this co-host for a honor that is beyond honors. She is choosing not to play Silksong in order to edit this week's podcast and has been therefore dubbed the Daddy of Daddies. Congratulations, Blue.
Oh, wow.
How you doing today?
Daddy of Daddies, I like that. That is going in the Patreon or the Discord. That's going in the Discord. That's my new Discord name. And perhaps I may even go on social media long enough to update my name as well.
Daddy
squared.
Daddy squared, the daddy of daddies.
D2. Daddy
I love
squared.
it. Honestly,
And
thank
next
you.
up, a gentleman who has the recent distinction of having someone name an adult film actress and having to ask the question, who's that? Which means that he is not as addicted to that stuff as myself and Blue. Donnie, how you doing today?
I just want to be pure.
I did not expect that response from you. He's like, "Who's that?" I was like,
There are
okay.
a few names that I am familiar with. Most of my actors and actresses are that I know of by name, 70s, 80s, whatnot. The new people don't know them as much.
Donnie's still watching Debbie Does Dallas on his VHS player.
Betamax, got to do.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I thought it would be like the reels, like the
8mm tape.
Yeah.
Change the reel. Oh, waddle over there.
He can't, unless he hears that noise in the background.
It's like the Pavlonian's response.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, want to start your own podcast, maybe about guided disassociation sessions for fun and profit? You'll need a place to host your show. Buzzsprout has a user-friendly interface, great analytics, and resources to help you grow your audience. Use the link in the description to get a $20 credit when you sign up for a paid plan. Let's take a look at our reviews, reactions, and requests. First up from Mogok. All right, so I played Bible Adventures a lot while growing up. It was, and remains, fairly awful. I did get quite adept at slinging rocks at Goliath, though. It was usually only played during the deepest periods of summer boredom. I have games like that. It's just not Bible Adventures.
But I mean, Bible Adventures by any other name is just your average, like, NES shovelware.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And the fact that it came in either a black cartridge or a baby blue cartridge.
Baby blue for the win.
Mm-hmm. Great Say Man 81 says, picked up Bible Adventures from Funcoland in the 90s just because it sounded ridiculous. And it truly was.
That may be
Nice.
very nice. That may be the first story I've heard of somebody voluntarily getting the game. Other options. They said, no, I'll go with Bible Adventures. I bet it's so bad it's good.
And the thing, if I'd say it's different nowadays if you pick up Bible Adventures because it's kind of a meme game, right?
Yeah.
And it's part of the collection. I want a bigger collection, so blah 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 blah. You're right, but you're right. In the 90s, Great Say Man was like, you know what? We'll give this one a shot.
Out of his time. The whole hate watching, he was hate playing before it was a thing. Simon Asher correctly says the black cartridge was King of Kings, which was another Wisdom Tree 3-in-1 card. I had forgotten that. Thank you, Simon.
Mm-hmm.
What's the risk nowadays of an aunt or a grandma getting Bible Adventures for their grandson or nephew or niece or whatever it is? It's like something they wander into a used game store. Oh, look, Bible Adventures. I think I'll pick this one up for little Timmy.
Little Timmy's going to be like, how do I play this thing?
So you're saying it's zero chance.
Right.
Probably, yeah. Because, I mean, let's face it, grandmas these days, not that much older than us. So they probably know better by now.
God, no. Why'd you say
I know.
that?
I know.
And have you ever watched those React channels where they had like the kids play any of these games?
Like, what is this? Like, I don't want
Like, how do you put this thing in? Like,
Stop
wait, you got to
doing
press it down?
Frank says, I would have bought Bible Adventures if my parents were cool with it being a substitute for church. 100%.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go. What a
absolutely.
bargain. What a
Yeah.
bargain.
Mhm.
All right, next up, Ludo Timbo says, I remember when I was a kid, there were a few occasions that my family's church pastor babysat me. Okay, there we go. She had a Nintendo, but the only games she had were lame-ass Bible games. I tried them out because there was nothing better to do, and Noah's Ark was my motherfucking jam.
Yeah.
Super Noah's Ark
touching that,
3D
not touching
is
that.
actually... Okay, so out of all the Wisdom Tree games, that is actually not that bad.
But that's not what he's talking about.
Oh, he's not.
He's
He's talking about in Bible. Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
the Noah's Ark in Bible Adventures.
Gotcha.
He liked, you gather the fruit, you gather the animals, throw them in the ark, and watch the world be destroyed. It's great fun for kids.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and shout out our patrons?
We couldn't do what we do without the help of our gorgeous patrons. Here are the generous folks supporting Gamers Week on Patreon. Mega Retro Man, Gametroid, Mora Deeb, Michael, you're a funny guy, Sully. I like you. That's why I'm going to kill you last. Lakite, Emo-esque, Bill Tucker, you know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Fruitcakes, I hate it when my Schwartz gets twisted, pickled pepper. Ducks with thick thighs. Absolutely the best podcast, a work in progress. Bob's and Dugnut, Blues Little Sis, Loudmouth, Retroblast Pat, BNT Zilla Guy, The Mad Milkman, Seven Castle Forest, Crunchy Kong, Snacks the Handsome Chef, Frank Grande, Love Retro BTW, Steven Sand, Ramboski, Terry Kinnair, Don't Make Me Pull This Car Over, Games with Coffee, Hybrid Divide, You Fall Before Me, Davey PGH, The Pixel Pond Family, including Shannon and Luke, Zach, aka Old Cluster Nuts, Puzzle Butter, Number One Blue Sick Voice Fan, John Barron, Sassy Sony, Evo Lust, and have a structured settlement or annuity and need cash now. Call your boy JG Wentworth at 877 Cash Now. If you like what you hear today, and we really hope you do, please consider joining us on Patreon. Your support helps cover the cost of producing the show, as well as other cool stuff we'll be doing like prizes and giveaways. You'll also gain access to our bi-weekly Patreon-only bonus cast called Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons with Benefits. Visit patreon.com/gamersweek or follow the link in the show notes to learn more. And I'm so happy we're now into the movie Commando as far as movie quotes go with Michael Lakite. Thank you.
We've
very
been on
much.
quite a journey.
We have. It's spanned a lot of movies, and now we're into Commando, which is one of my favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
Can I have a little bit of a petition here?
Sure.
Can we make it sure that the Call Your Boy JG Wentworth, the one in which we sing, is not directly followed by If You Like What You Hear Today?
Next week it won't be.
Right. Like, no, I don't like it. No, sir.
All right, so let's go ahead and check out our headlines.
All right, this headline segment is proudly sponsored by Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress. Each episode, George and Zach discuss and rank all the best things, starting with deep dives into every movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This week, they've got a trivia question for us. Hollow Knight fans are finally getting a sequel after a 7-year wait, but that's practically brief compared to the gap between Windjammers 1 and 2, which was how many years? Visit them at absolutelythebest.net or follow the link in the show notes. And if you are stumped, I am allowed to give you the consoles they came out on.
Yes, please.
I actually do know the first one, Windjammers 1.
Okay.
It came out on the Neo Geo console, arcade console, right?
That is
the
correct.
MVS?
Oh.
Okay.
And the sequel, Windjammers 2, came out on... Sorry, I thought I had it, and then I didn't.
I was thinking of Log Jammers.
Okay, it came out on Switch, PS4, Xbox One, Stadia, and Windows.
All
What?
right, so like early to mid 90s, all the way
Huh.
up to like 2015.
Holy
so that's
crap.
our gap.
That's a hell of a
is this-
gap.
Okay, is this like The Price is Right? Closest to the number without going over?
Sure.
I'm gonna say 25 years.
I don't even know where to begin with this one. So I've never heard of Windjammers. What type is it? Like a sailing game?
No, it's like a
Irrelevant
volleyball
to the
game.
question.
Well, can I still know what type of game it is? Man. Okay, you said volleyball?
Yeah.
I feel like that was like very high back up in the early
Pretty sure
90s.
he's bullshitting you.
Oh, damn it, Ryan. He said a chit. Yeah, okay, so early 90s. I don't know. Ryan said 25. I'll just say 20.
For the record, my guess was 26. So the competition is Price is Right rules. The answer is 28.
28 years.
Wow.
28
Wow.
years.
Holy crap.
So you're saying if they came out with a Big Trouble in Little China sequel,
China.
China,
That would
right
win.
now, that would win.
That would win. You're right. Although one of the new releases this week may win.
Really?
We'll revisit that later.
Okay.
Silksong?
It's been 84
just
years.
Feels like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting. I've never heard of this.
Stop saying it for fuck's sake. What?
What?
Silksong?
Silksong? I can't stop saying Silksong.
Silksong.
Silksong? Silksong?
Silksong.
Silksong? Where's Lost All Meaning?
All right.
All right, so with this week's headline, first up, IO Interactive, developers of the much-beloved Hitman series, showed off its latest title, 007 First Light, during a special September State of Play. In it, instead of a bald Agent 47, you play as a youthful, immaculately coiffed James Bond, and that's pretty much like the biggest distinction between the two games. As in Hitman, First Light's gameplay demo featured a fancy party at a luxurious estate, lots of slow walking to blend in with the crowd, listening to ambient conversations for clues, and of course, lots of fancy cars to drive and inevitably wreck. Basically, what IO showed off First Light makes the game look like Hitman with a fancy 007 skin, which honestly probably suits a lot of players just fine. With the success of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, licensed games are making a big comeback. And while IO continues to update Hitman World of Assassination with new missions and fancy new targets, it's been 4 years since the last full Hitman release. 007's First Light seems like it would be a new way to scratch the spy thriller assassination itch, and you won't have to wait too long for it either. 007 First Light launches on March 27th on Xbox, PlayStation, Switch 2, and PC.
So did you guys get a chance to watch the showcase today?
Yes, I did my homework.
Yes.
I'm so proud of both of you.
Thank you.
What did you think?
Well, this actually rained on my parade because I was pretty hyped about this. And I was like, oh, all right, you could have played it anyway with Hitman. But it seemed fun. I will admit, I am not much of a stealth guy, and I suck at those missions. But it sounds like you don't always have to be stealth if you don't want to. You can rush in there. Of course, there's consequences for all of your actions. So I think that's kind of cool. But it's got several different gameplay modes, right? It's the stealth piece. It's kind of not unlocking puzzles, but utilizing your choices to make the right decision trees, if you will. And then the driving stages, it all looked really good. Whoever is the first person shooter that was driving this demo sucks.
Right.
Yeah.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a freaking barn. But other than that, it seemed like it was pretty cool. I love the dynamic that you can throw a weapon at somebody, stun them, and then steal their weapons and murder them with it.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
awesome.
pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to fit right into the James Bond wheelhouse of using all of your surroundings and resources that you have. When I saw the gameplay and the everything, it made me feel like I was back in the Nathan Drake universe. It's, I get that type of feel, even though it's not the same. It's got the same aspect of it, and I don't really do well with like the Hitman games. They're okay. I didn't really get too deep into them, but this game, I mean, come on, it's infiltration. It's using technology and all this other stuff. I will say, however, that car chase just seemed a little bit unrealistic.
Oh my god! I was like, how the hell would I ever figure out?
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Well, no, it's unrealistic for one reason and one reason only. The fact that car jumped. First of all, it couldn't keep up with the other car. Next thing you know, it 3 times it dropped. It jumped, bam, and that suspension would have been destroyed, gone, game over. Sorry.
Yep, they left the muffler like 6 miles back.
Yeah.
There's no coming back from that. But
I
then,
like the Dukes of Hazzard jump though,
right. But then the lady that is also in the car, she's just like, "Okay, bye, James." Drops him off and gets in the car, and it sounds just perfect when it drives away. So video game magic.
Yeah, like suspending your belief or disbelief. Suspending your belief just to accommodate the story. Okay, I can get behind that. God knows I've done that plenty of times in these other games. So I'm willing to give it a shot. I did like what I saw. The gameplay, being able to blow up the tankers and all this other stuff, and the vehicles actually explode. I would have liked to have seen some burning bodies screaming for help inside. I don't know, maybe a little bit
It's
sadistic
going to
in
be
that.
a T for teen game.
Yeah. James Bond did not seem to be affected by the big explosions. Things were
I noticed that.
blowing past him and all that stuff, yet he was still perfectly still. His jacket was still zipped up. His hair was still perfectly coiffed. He was fine.
That's
Get
again
like
the
a
magic
look
of
at his
James Bond.
Just thinking, like, you get a look of his face, you didn't realize it because you're always from the back, and then like his eyebrows are singed off, and like he has no eyelashes left. And
Looks like Fire Marshal Bill.
Oh
Grass. Zach says, "Touch grass. It's a game." Yes, I know
Zach
that.
is not one to be throwing around touch grass at other people. Mr. Pedantic. Everything must be scientifically accurate in movies. Actually. Yeah, I tuned into the showcase, and like the first 5 minutes of it, we're driving in a car, just listening to conversation. I was like, oh my God, they better do better than this. And then then the gameplay turns into Hitman. So you're, walking slowly, blending in, using the environment to accomplish the mission objectives, which everybody already knows how that's going to play out. Then we mentioned the car chase. The thing that I wasn't sure about the car chase is, like you mentioned, the car that you're driving cannot keep up with the other car.
Right.
And they're like, well, you better find some shortcuts and find a way to catch up. And I'm thinking, if this chase is not on rails, I have no idea how you would know
Right.
where you're going.
That was my other thought too.
Yeah, how do you know to cut that specific corner? How do you know when the car goes right and you go left? Like eventually you end up back at it, even though you haven't seen even a glimpse of the headlights in like 3 miles.
Yeah.
So
Right. It was like when you were going into that tunnel too. You're like, okay,
right? I guess this is right. So
Now-
I don't know how that's going to play out. Maybe it is on rails.
I did notice the fact that at certain points the environments were directing you which way to go. Right. It was showing you off the beaten path. Like, oh, sheep. There's an entrance. Oh, let me go ahead and get off into the field and whatnot. Or you got some construction truck that suddenly comes in your way, and it's not a quick time event almost, but it's kind of like that, where you just have to make a quick decision to veer left. It's not like all of a sudden this button comes up and you're like, oh shit, which button is this? I gotta look down. Then you're dead. So at least it wasn't like that.
Yeah, but it was still pretty fast. Like, even though I'm not playing, I'm just watching, and the guy is like magically somehow making all the turns just right. And I'm still thinking that if it's not on rails, it was played by somebody who knew what they were supposed to be doing,
Right.
and where the way the demo was supposed to go. Because otherwise, I'm running into that construction truck first. And I gotta back up, do a 3-point turn, and then go the correct way, because like at that speed you're going, it's right up on you.
Considering the airbags have been popped into your face,
Right.
But they don't. We know that already because they dropped, like you said, the car 3 times, and yeah.
Yeah, that one apparently has no airbags whatsoever.
Oh man.
But yeah, and then it seems to turn into Uncharted, where you've got those third-person style shootouts in a base of bad guys. And then it moved into the airplane, where I was thinking, like, he just kind of, I couldn't make up my mind whether he voluntarily jumped out of the plane and just thought, oh, I'll figure it out, or whether he actually fell. But I'm like, that's ballsy. Like, I'm just going to jump out of the plane.
Right.
There's something on the way down, I guess. I don't know.
And it said find a parachute without any instructions on that. I was like,
you're like checking your pocket.
Right.
Okay, fine. Maybe your suit has a parachute in it. I don't know. But yeah, I think it was a good demonstration of the different types of gameplay that are going to be in the game. You got to feel for the slower moments as well as the faster moments. You got to feel for the character and what it's going to be like to play as this version of James Bond. But it does look like it's, like we've said a couple times, it looks like reskinned Hitman for the most part, which is more of IO Interactive's bread and butter. That could be a good thing because they're really good at making those games. They've done it for a long time. And it is interesting that you think how well the James Bond formula fits into the Hitman formula,
Right.
even though apparently Hitman was supposedly inspired by Chinese action movies.
Gotcha.
So it's interesting how well it fits and how natural it seems. But I imagine it will be kind of along the lines of the Indiana Jones movie, where they're not reinventing the wheel; they're just trying to make a good game.
Only thing that concerns me about games like that, where there's just so much variety of gameplay, if you're not a fan of each one of those varieties, what you find
Hmm.
yourself is it's like a slog to have to go through it, right? So one of the examples I'll give is I remember back in the day, like Super Contra, right, where it was different angles and stuff, and all
Hmm.
you would all when the board would switch over to a different play style, you're just like, oh no, not one of these again. Um, so a lot of games have different styles of play, within their genre, and they do it very well. I would just have to see how the controls are on this one to see if that's the case. But you at least have to have some interest in all of these in order for it to be fun. So, like for example, with you were talking about, oh, it's boring. It could be, um, you know, driving up to the thing. Do I really care about the dialogue? If you're not into that kind of stuff, you're not going to be interested. You're not going to make it for in the game to see what else is there.
Hmm. Yeah.
Well,
So,
sorry. By that omission, at least it's only a small part of the game as
sure.
opposed to the entire game. When you reflect on something like Splinter Cell, where the entire thing was basically you have to do stealth. It's 100% stealth, 100% stealth, pretty much
Mhm.
nothing else.
Yep.
Most people saw that, they checked out. So
Sure.
in this regards, it's just a small part of the game. If you can slag past that, then it opens up and the world is your oyster.
Yeah, and they had to get some backstory in there. You had to know that Bond is unhappy with being the lookout and that he's going to disobey. And then I loved the fact that that's such a common story trope, is that the guy who thinks he knows better goes off mission and does his own thing. And even though his instincts are right, he's still going to get in trouble for it and um, have to prove himself later. And then the gameplay trailer had threw up the word inevitably before you go into the next section, because inevitably it all went wrong and Bond was in trouble. I was like, thank you, because that it's a pretty tropey backstory, but I suppose it's just to get the ball rolling.
But yeah, I'm interested in this one. It's coming out in March, so plenty of time to get hyped about it. Um, I actually debated doing the pre-order. I don't usually pre-order, especially digital games, but there was that like 24-hour special. But I thought better of it, so I've made that the right choice, I think, because I don't care about skins and I don't care about that crap. But it just seemed enticing for just a brief second. It's like uh, when your team wins a championship and it flashes across the screen. It's like, your team just won the championship. Buy the hat. Never buy the hat. Wait for the hat to be cheaper.
Do you know what that's like?
Yeah, you've never had an opportunity to buy the hat, have you?
I was a New Jersey Devils fan for a very long time. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
okay, okay.
All right. Just honest question.
Sorry, we only know of one team that you supposedly root for. We're not privy to the other ones, so just
We'll have to get to know Brian better in an uncut one of these weeks.
yeah.
No.
No, he's putting up the walls as we're speaking.
So you said that is this a digital only game?
No.
Okay.
I was uh
Woo.
I was
got
gonna
like a
do the digital though download from my PS5. Is what I was
Gotcha.
thinking.
they've got like a $300 collector's edition. So
What, do you get like a fancy watch that kills people with that?
I don't know. The watching the gameplay trailer mostly made it look like it made people puke in the bushes.
Okay, I'll still take it for $300. Or like the watch from Naked Gun, where he's like, it's got the dart thing. You just press it. Ted, why? It falls over.
All right, next up, 22 years after it began, the Call of Duty video game series is finally getting a Hollywood movie, thanks to a deal between Activision and Paramount. Both companies issued a joint statement in which they said the partnership aims to bring the iconic Call of Duty universe to life on the big screen, delivering an unforgettable cinematic event for fans worldwide. Unfortunately, we know nothing about the movie except that it's a live-action feature film. There's no release window, directors attached, or cast. Call of Duty fans have for years wondered why the game hasn't had an official adaptation, considering Hollywood's love of war movies. Call of Duty itself is one of the biggest video game franchises of all time, with over 500 million copies sold globally. A movie would benefit from launching and instant brand recognition. Additionally, Paramount has form when it comes to successfully adapting video games. It's usually popular Sonic movies have proven critical and commercial hits. But it's worth noting Paramount also made the Halo TV series, which was awesome, which was canceled after 2 seasons. We're approaching this film with the same discipline, uncompromising commitment to excellence that guided our work on Top Gun Maverick, ensuring to meet the exceptionally high standards this franchise and its fans deserve, said David Ellison, chairman and CEO of Paramount. I can promise that we are resolute in our mission to deliver a cinematic experience that honors the legacy of this one in a million brand, thrilling longtime fans of Call of Duty while captivating a whole new generation.
One in a
Donnie,
million?
I didn't hear you squee.
I mean,
It was so high pitched it could not be heard by
Right.
the human ear.
Oh, it's the brown note. I'm indifferent about a Call of Duty movie. The cinematics that we've gotten from these games over the years, the story of betrayal and whatnot is great. Do you do the same thing in live action though? Because we've already seen it kind of sort of the same thing in a video game. So do I really need to see the same story over and over again in live action? I don't know. It just depends. It's a war movie's a war movie, man. It just depends on how they do it. I can go see it, sure, but I'm not going to be like, oh my God, it's a Call of Duty movie. Where's my night vision popcorn bucket?
But there isn't like a protagonist that goes through every game, is there? Like you're not getting like a Nathan Drake every time you go into the single player campaign of a Call of Duty game.
Yes, kind of. There's Soap McTavish. There's Captain Price.
Soap
Yeah.
McTavish.
Mm-hmm.
Did they throw that into an AI generator? It was like, what's the shittiest name we can
I mean, this was back in the early 2000s, so, or mid 2000s.
Soap McTavish.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, continue.
Well, now I lost my train of thought.
I was asking if there's like a continuous protagonist.
Yeah, those two guys, Ghost, Soap McTavish, and Captain Price. Those three guys are in the first couple of Call of Duties. One of them ends up dead. I'm not going to spoil anything, but yeah.
So there is a backstory. So there's names that we can drop here. It's not just like generic sniper number 3.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Oh, it said it's not just generic sniper number 3. Right?
I could be.
The other thought was like, what if they made it Warzone, right? And it became like a what's that movie?
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games. Yeah. Like an adult's Hunger. I would watch the shit out of that. Are you kidding me?
No, they better not do something like that they better not make it a Warzone movie. I love the betrayal. I love the storylines that come from those games. I don't see a battle royale movie really working or happening with Call of Duty.
Mad Milkman says, I'd watch a Call of Duty movie. Interpret that how you may. Jungie says, it better have Jack Black playing Soap doing 360 no scope.
Oh, God.
It is an interesting thought. And a lot of ways you could say, well, yeah, it seems like Call of Duty has been such a big IP for so long, 2 decades or so, maybe probably more than that. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Why hasn't it had a movie adaptation all this time? I guess you could say it hasn't needed one.
Mm-mm.
But the question does present itself is how are they going to do this? Because the timeline of Call of Duty goes as far back as World War II?
World War I, I think.
World War I, all the way up to the future. So which movie are they going to pick to adapt if they do? Or are they going to pull in Until Dawn and just slap the IP name on it, but the story is different characters and has nothing to do with any of the games?
That could very well be done as well. And just like you said, it covers World War I, World War II, but I'm not going to sit here and say that Call of Duty wasn't that big with those particular settings, because it was. I think Call of Duty and Medal of Honor were their two go-to shooter games for the World War I, World War II genre. And then Modern Warfare changed the game. It brought everything into a much more modern setting, giving us updated weapons and technology and everything like that. And I think I'm a betting man, and I'd be willing to bet that they take from the Modern Warfare, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, all of that stuff, those characters and that kind of espionage and betrayal storyline, and throw that into the movie.
Well, yeah, they're going to want to try to push whatever is the next game that's going to be coming up concurrent with
Of
the
course.
movie. So whatever timeline that's in, they're going to want to try to get people interested in that. They also are probably aware of the World War II fatigue, so they're probably going to stay away from that. So I agree, it probably will go towards more of a modern bent. But Call of Duty has had some really amazing storytelling in their campaigns. Now, of course, I haven't played them, but I have sat through Mr. Blue playing many a Call of Duty game, and there was definitely a golden era of those single player campaigns with amazing storytelling, and they could pull from any one of those and make a great movie.
Frank says, just give us Call of Duty Zombies. No, we're not going to do a zombie movie.
I would go watch a zombie movie.
Of course you would.
War zombie movie.
Well, the next Call of Duty is going to be Call of Duty Revolutionary War. So you're going to sit there and...
Yep.
Boom! Wait a second.
Give me my cannonball
And there won't
bucket.
be any like running around. You're going to march up in lines to each other and just take turns firing.
I'll be the flute player.
It's going to be a hit.
There was something I was going to say, and I lost my train of thought, and I felt like it would have been a good topic of discussion, and now it's just... Oh, so there are plenty of events that happen that span the Call of Duty franchise in the Modern Warfare. One of my most favorite scenes was all gillied up in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, and you are crawling along in a ghillie suit ever so slowly. All of a sudden, the enemy forces are coming up behind you. They're walking right past you. You have to stay completely still while also moving a little bit to the left so nobody trips over you, so the big tank coming up from behind you doesn't crush you. That was very nerve-wracking and anxiety-inducing, and I feel like if they tried to do that in the movies, it could give the same feeling to the audience as it did for those who were playing the game.
Did you make like a noise when the tank ran over you?
Splat. And Chris Pratt as the main for everyone's enjoyment, says Satisfaction. No.
Chris Pratt as everyone, like it's a Nutty Professor.
Oh, no.
But,
All Chris
hear
Pratt.
me out. Think how many times you could watch Chris Pratt die.
I mean, I don't want to see Chris Pratt die. It's not very nice.
Just saying.
Just saying. Okay.
Just saying.
Chris Pratt, you don't have a fan. If you're listening, she's not a fan.
So, right now, Donnie, are you a green light, a yellow light, or a red light for going to see the Call of Duty movie with what we know?
We don't know jack shit. So as of right now, it's a red.
You're not going to see it.
Based on what we know, no, I'm not going to see it. If they give me more, if I'm able to see a trailer that maybe has like Captain Price smoking a cigar, like he's like somebody's talking in an accent like this, and he's talking about war and how it changes people and how it's this betrayal, and all of a sudden he lights up a cigar and he's in this, it's like raining and he's got night vision goggles on. Yeah, I'll probably get a nerd boner and I'll go see it.
I was gonna say we don't know shit about the movie so far, but based on what we know of Donnie's behavior, he will go see it begrudgingly.
because they're going to also have, if you buy a ticket at this particular time, you're going to get the whatever skin, um,
Hmm.
Kiefer Sutherland from Lost Boys skin, and
Ooh,
therefore gonna check it out.
okay.
Mhm.
It's been about a month since I played Warzone, and but if they had a crossover with the Lost Boys and I could get David in his vampire skin, are you fucking kidding me? I'm coming back, baby.
I keep getting away, they keep
Pulling me
pulling me
back in.
back. Very nice. All right, next up, it's official. Silksong will be priced at $20, flying in the face of the current AAA campaign to have us all believe that they can't possibly price their games a penny lower than $80. However, this low price is also making some indie developers believe that the game is so cheap that it will hurt the pricing options of other indie games. As a dev making a smaller Metroidvania than Silksong, which I originally thought would be fairly priced at 20 USD, what should I price it now? Tweeted at Basti Art Games after news of the $20 price point dropped. It'll be 10 to 15 hour game, but it was made by one person with limited dev time and funds. I can't afford to give it away for free. At Thomas J. Pereira said, or echoed the statement, seeing that this makes me doubt the pricing strategy for my game. It's not the same game genre as Silksong, but I'm scared people will start comparing my game with Silksong. The average price of the top 50 best-selling Metroidvanias on Steam is $17, according to SteamDB. This means Silksong's $20 price tag is more expensive, not less, than its competitors. Everyone who creates a product, including the game, has to worry about competition. Game industry is more likely to be hurt by the fear of Silksong's impact than the game's actual release.
Hmm.
So,
Mhm.
um, I guess I just hadn't really thought of it from that point of view because instantly it was like $20, sweet,
Right. $20 is $20.
right?
Yeah, it was pretty bonkers because, for context, the first Hollow Knight released for $15 had four completely free DLC that you could get, and that game has always been criminally underpriced,
Mhm.
but very player friendly. And I think that's a huge reason why it had as much success as it did, is because it's at a price point that pretty much everybody can play it. So when Silksong was coming out, I wondered for a long time what the price point was going to be, because I thought, how on earth are they going to justify this if they go a lot higher? I mean, you could say this Silksong is supposed to be a fair amount bigger than Hollow Knight. So not to mention, the different economic climate, the development time, you could easily justify $50 for this game, but people
Easily.
would probably crucify them for such a high price point. They went with $20, just a little bit over the first game's price. And I did not have it on my bingo card to see people complaining that it was too low. That's ridiculous. You think about the amount of good that Hollow Knight has done for the indie scene, and then you're going to complain that the game is too accessible. I mean, $20 is going to be underpriced for Silksong. It totally
Sure.
is. But
Yeah.
big picture here. You have to justify the cost of your own game, just like Team Cherry did. And if people don't think it's worth $20, they're not going to pay it, but that's not Silksong's fault.
It's it's interesting, right? That at least from a price point, um, I think it's probably $20 because from a margin standpoint, they know they're going to sell millions of copies of this game.
Hmm.
So they can price it at that level, um, knowing full well that they will achieve profit. If you're an indie developer, small one, a one-man team, you're not expected to have that kind of margin, so you have to price it accordingly. But it almost, I don't know, it strangely enough feels like almost like the price dumping issues that you see with like Temu and stuff where people complain. I mean, I don't support Temu because they like steal intellectual property and all that stuff, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But if somebody's selling, you know, hot pants for $4, it's sometimes just hard to say no to it, right?
I love me some hot pants, you know what I mean?
Ryan has a whole closet full of them.
Right?
But it's like the Arizona iced tea thing too, right? You know, they're going to stick at $1 because they know they're going to sell a crap ton of Arizona iced teas. If you're like a bespoke tea manufacturer, you focus on how quality your game or your tea is versus Arizona, and that's how you do better.
Right.
The only fallacy here is that now Arizona is also high quality. So
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah.
And the owner of Arizona Iced Tea he's been asked, like, why don't you increase your prices to $3 or $4? Like, we own everything, and we make a quality product, and we want people to be able to afford it. So we're not trying to get super ultra mega rich off of it. We want to give people something good, and I feel like that's exactly what Team Cherry is doing. They made a shit ton of money from Hollow Knight, and my props to Team Cherry for giving something back to the community, not riding on the coattails of everybody else. All these other developers and game companies that say, "Oh, we're gonna $80 games," and well, now indie games are now $70 games. No, fuck you. $20. Here you go. You got a crisp Andrew Jackson out there. Give it to us, and you can have our game. That's gonna probably not what. How many hours is Hollow Knight? How many hours of enjoyment does Hollow Knight bring you?
My first playthrough was 50 hours.
Yeah, 50 hours. The platinum trophy hunter, like Blue is, the masochist who loves the pantheons and all that stuff, and just wants to see if they can beat their times and get better. $20? That's a steal in today's economy. Steal.
And especially, you can buy the Switch version and get a free upgrade for Switch 2.
Switch
which
2.
is what I'm going to do.
Right.
And then I'll have it twice.
And the Mad Milkman makes a great argument right here. It says, price your game where you think you should, then convince me that it's worth that much. So if this developer who's talking about he's scared now because he was going to price his game probably at about $20, that Silksong is now pricing theirs. We understand it. I can understand your thought process on that. But if it's a good game, people are going to pay $20 for it.
I think the fallacy here too is that we often associate value with high price games, right? It's like,
True,
is that worth $80? But I don't look at a $20 or a $24 game and say to myself, it needs to be at the same quality as Silksong or something like that. If it's a good game, it's getting good reviews, and people are saying you should check it out. If it's reasonable, say it's $20 and it's 10 hours or 15 hours worth of entertainment. If it's good, that to me is worth it. I think we have a tendency to less associate lower price games with is it worth it than we do when it's the $80 price point.
Yeah. Tegan85 says, this is like the dude in the HOA who complains about the price someone else lists their house at. But yeah, I mean, you make a good point in that length is not really a good indicator of what the price should be, because you've got AAA games that are 20 hours to play a campaign through, like an Uncharted or something like that. But then you've got 200-hour JRPGs, and both of those games are at the same price. So the length of your game really shouldn't matter. It's just, I think, like we've said a few times, what can you convince your audience that it's worth them to pay?
And you heard it here first. Blue says length doesn't matter.
See, Tegan says everybody knows that girth is what matters here. The girth of your game is what matters.
I just noticed that Ryan seems to have been punished and is sleeping in the couch. You don't know me.
That's just his comfy spot.
He likes being punished.
For those listening at home, he's nodding. Yes.
Vigorously nodding.
I think what does this say not only to the indie developers, but what does this say to the AAA developers, the studios like Sony and Microsoft and whatnot? Yeah, this is our team can make a quality game with quality visuals, gameplay, music, and memories that people will come back to, and you don't need to charge people an arm and a freaking leg for it.
And to your point, maybe the fear is probably better suited with AAA for them to say, we can't justify an $80 game if it's not of memory lasting quality, if you will. For example, Blue with Mario Kart. Do you feel as though that is a justified price based off of your experience?
Up until, I would say that I got far more out of for the $60 that I paid for Mario Kart 8. I got easily 4, 5, 6 times that price.
Right.
Yeah.
So does every game have to have perfect visuals? Does every game have to have 40 hours of dialogue in it? I think it's coming to that point in which we're trying to push the technology so far, right? Like, how can we make this bigger? How can we make this more quote unquote immersive? And Silksong is an example of when you don't need that in order for people to want to play something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a certain audience of gamers that they want that hyper realistic, and they want those graphics, and they want all of that stuff. But I think where the focus gets lost in that there's a lot of gamers that don't care about that.
Team Cherry calling with your advanced playthrough of Silksong. Oh, you don't want it?
The phone is supposed to turn off at fucking 6 o'clock. I'm sorry.
This is 2 weeks in a row that they have.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Put it on speakerphone.
Yeah, just answer it. I will mess with him. We can be carnival barkers.
Still ringing. Talk amongst yourselves.
Answer the phone like, City Morgue, you kill him, we chill him.
Click.
Yeah. Anyways, like people who play Call of Duty, if you tried to come out with a downgraded visual of Call of Duty, people would freak out. It would be like the biggest laughingstock that has ever been released. So I think you have to know your audience. But like I was saying, the fallacy is in thinking that every audience values that same thing. Yes. There is so much about AAA gaming that could embrace more of the experience and the storytelling and the world building, and that we don't have to have, full on $100 million development budget games all the time.
Tegan85 says, Wind Waker style Call of Duty. Do it. See the gamer rage reach new levels. That's already happening for people who have lower quality graphics cards.
It's the same. It's the same as Wind Waker.
Yeah.
It looks like 007 on N65. GoldenEye.
Can you imagine if they decided to do a port for the Atari 2600? Call of Duty Warzone, it just blocks. Just tick.
There's a Halo 2600.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Hold, please.
Oh my God, he's gonna get it. Don't stand on the couch. That's awesome. I'll tell you one thing. I care a lot less about having a physical copy of a game when it only costs $10 to $20.
Well, and that's another thing is because it's only priced at $20, you could buy it across 3 different platforms. If you're like many of us, we can't decide where we want to buy it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I own Hollow Knight 5 times over. So
for the Game Boy Advance, for the virtual
they
board.
know that people are going to double and triple and quadruple dip on this game. There was no need for them to go beyond this price point, and it really has everything to do with them and their strategy and nothing to do with anyone else. So
if I was somebody who cared only about digital games, and I would have no problem with buying that game 3 times over for several different platforms at a $20 price point or a $10 price point. I think it's a no-brainer. And realistically speaking, the way that we're going is if it's a normal release from Microsoft or Sony, you don't get anything with it. You get a plastic case and that's it. That's it. There's no instructions. There's no nothing of yesteryear that used to bring us joy with like thicker manuals and whatnot and all the special inserts like stickers and pins and stuff like that. It's gone.
The girthy manuals?
The girthy manuals, right. They're not long, they're girthy. They're thick.
Right.
Blue has the Wonder Swan Hollow Knight version.
Complete in box.
Nice.
Minty fresh.
Ding.
All right, last up, one of the most bizarre but charming cultural crossovers has officially come to an end. The Louvre has finally laid its Nintendo 3DS audio guides to rest. The collaboration between the Louvre and Nintendo first dropped in 2012, where you could rent a quote unquote rent a 3DS at the Louvre for a mere €6 to use as an audio guide. Nintendo was so excited by the project that on November 27, 2023, they released a 12.5-minute Nintendo Direct. What?
2013.
2013.
They released a 12.5-minute Nintendo Direct entirely dedicated to its Louvre map app, a purchasable version of the software that allowed people to experience the Louvre from the comfort of their own home. Miyamoto and then President Satoru Iwata wandered the halls of the Louvre with only a 3DS in hand, guiding them through the museum, all while filling the video with the kind of magic that only a dad proudly showing off something that he made can provide. The software itself contained high-quality photos and 3D models of much of the museum's iconic artwork. Over 600 images, 30 hours of audio commentary, and more than 400 3D reconstructions of museum rooms are part of the software. It was and still is an extremely unique collaboration, and we're a little bit sad to see it go. But it's been around for 13 years, so it makes sense. Maybe Nintendo could get a Switch or Switch 2 audio guide running for the museum.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's still
Yeah.
working, just because it's older, it.
People don't like old things. You know how it is.
So sad.
You guys.
Yeah, that was the joke.
No, I'm saying I'm not included
The fuck you're not.
though.
Hate to tell you, once it's over 35, I think it's you count.
No, don't say it.
Sorry.
The white on your face would say otherwise, sir.
So I went to the Louvre in like 2003, 2004. And so they did not have the 3DS audio guides, but I would have gotten one in a heartbeat because I was just kind of wandering around. It was there. My sister mainly wanted to go and look at the art because she's an artist and she was very fascinated by everything. And I was bored out of my mind, but everything was in French and we don't speak French. So it's just like, that's a nice painting. That's a nice sculpture. Like, I don't know anything about it. So having this and being able to select select a language and get like backstory and insight on all of the art that you were looking at, I would have probably spent the whole time. I don't know how long we were at that museum. Probably felt like 100 hours, but I would have just had my face buried in the 3DS the whole time and not like actually looked at anything.
Right.
But it would have been a much more enjoyable experience.
I think if I was going with you and you didn't speak any French, what I would tell you is that in order for you to say, I like this or it's beautiful, you would say, merde.
Not magnifique.
Merde means shit. So all of these French people
Merde.
around you.
The wonderful part about that is I don't believe a single thing you say. Liar gamers. So.
Well, Mier does mean shit, so. Puta de merde! So back
or
in...
if it was Quebec, it'd be tabernacle.
Tabernacle. So back in 2004, it was what, a Game Boy Color?
No, you had to cart around like a giant old computer, and then it
Tandy. All right.
Yeah. And it popped out like the cars with the holes on it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dot
that's
matrix
right.
ones, so that you could tell you what was going on.
Everyone gets a dot matrix printer. They'll lug around the Louvre.
You're trying to get around other people and crashing into each other like at Costco. It's great.
Just watching Blade Runner, and he opens up the laptop, and it's like that long behind it. And I'm just like, oh, that's funny.
I wonder what they're doing with all the 3DSs.
They're probably gross, like covered in.
Well, I like to think
the
they clean
French
them.
equivalent of Cheetos is.
I like to think that they clean them from time to time. And then you could say, those are so old, they belong in a museum.
Indiana Jones joke.
Yeah.
I would like to think that they would donate them or something like that. I mean, I would think that they would have to be scrubbed. Like somebody would have to take, like, not, well, in that sense, you know, digitally and with a brush, you know, make sure you got all the stuff out of the little crevices and whatnot, but to make sure that there's nothing on the devices themselves that were, you know, risky.
Dave used to go on the internet with the 3DS after hours.
I mean, I got a secondhand 3DS one time, opened it up, and it had all the information, address, phone number, name, birthday of the kid that owned it before.
That's bad.
Yeah, mom and dad sold it at a garage sale and just didn't even think about it. I was like, you know what? I'll do you a solid, kid. I'll just factory reset.
I've done that plenty of times with stuff that I picked up on Marketplace, like Xbox 360s and PS3s, like having to go in there and do a factory reset because their stuff is still on the store or what have you. And just like, that's a little risky.
Did they have any store credit?
I didn't check that.
Oh, well, should have done that first.
So it's funny too that this article came up. So like over the weekend, I ended up picking up a bunch of Laserdiscs, and one of them is an entire walkthrough of the Louvre with a book that comes with it.
Really?
Yeah, and it's got a book of all the listed paintings, so you can search by chapter for a specific piece of art.
Okay.
And there are like 8 Laserdiscs to this thing. I'm just thinking to myself, like, how boring do you have to be to buy this? Just fucking go to the Louvre, man.
Well, it's a lot cheaper.
True.
I don't know.
But I mean, I would just, if I cared about it, which honestly, it was so boring there. But if I was into that, I would just buy the 3DS app so that I could have it at home, and you could go to the Louvre in spirit anytime you wanted to, except for without the smelly crowds around you.
So first date idea, Ryan.
Okay.
Bring the date back to your house or your apartment. Candlelight, little, like light jazz playing and whatnot. Like, hey, I got a surprise for you. Cover your eyes. All right, open them. And she sees the Laserdisc player up and active, and it's this is the Louvre, an interactive walkthrough of the Louvre and the paintings. And you're like, all right, join me on the couch. Do you think she would run out of there screaming, or do you think she would be interested enough to stay and watch it?
She might be interested in Louvre and chill.
Louvre and chill.
They frown on that in the actual museum.
Hey, babe, look what we're gonna do.
We're gonna Louvre and chill.
Be real classy tonight.
Got a box of wine.
Gonna make love next to the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, I know you like the French food, so I got some fries.
I can't tell if she's smiling or what. Or is she frowning? Oh, you don't like my boobs?
It's hot though. It's like she's watching us.
Oh my God, that's great.
Louvre and chill.
And chill. Louvre and chill.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and take a look at our top 3 new releases.
Hell is Us. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC. If war is the closest we get to hell on Earth, it's because Earth harbors the worst of demons, humankind. In an isolated country ravaged by infighting, Discover the secrets of your past and deal with the repercussions of a mysterious calamity in this third-person action-adventure game. I'd rather have infighting than incest. Gross. Or inbreeding. And they spelled it harbors. H-A-R-B. Is that right?
That's the English.
Oh.
British, if you will.
Harbowers. Harbowers.
It has an unnecessary U in it.
Yes, it
I
does.
agree.
Adventure of Samsara. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. A hero resurrected. A new adventure. With stunning 2D pixel art, Adventure of Samsara is a mysterious 2D Metroidvania action-adventure that captures the spirit of the original Atari 2600 title, Adventure, and takes it in an entirely new and unique direction. Adventure of Samsara combines classic gameplay, a deeply connected world, and a heady, twisting narrative of death, rebirth, and memory. Become the solar champion and restore balance to the multiverse. It's heady. Hollow Knight Silksong. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. As the lethal hunter Hornet, adventure through a kingdom ruled by silk and song. Captured and taken to this unfamiliar world, prepare to battle mighty foes and solve ancient mysteries as you ascend on a deadly pilgrimage to the kingdom's peak. Hollow Knight Silksong is the epic sequel to Hollow Knight, the award-winning action-adventure. Journey to all new lands, discover new powers, battle vast hordes of bugs and beasts, and uncover secrets tied to your nature and your past. Now, based on these three wonderful descriptions, and knowing that we couldn't possibly know what you're picking this week, Blue, which one of these games are you going to choose?
Silksong, please.
That's it. That's the take. Nothing else is even remotely interesting. What I mean, Hell Is Us. You don't want to talk about Hell Is Us or anything like that, and what you don't like about it?
Hell Is Us looks like any other week it would probably be fun. A third-person action game is getting really good early reviews, and I think probably any other week that would be killer. Adventure of Samsara was what I was alluding to. Is like if you count this as a sequel to Adventure, then that's 40 years.
Oh yeah, geez, you're right. Holy crap.
Yeah, so that would be the winner if we're counting that.
Okay.
Adventure of Samsara, pixel art Metroidvania. Also, any other week would probably be my pick, even if watching the trailer, why is the sprite so tiny?
Yeah, well, it's
How can you do precision platforming with a tiny ass little sprite? It makes it like every jump has to be pixel perfect. So that would be my only hesitation there. But yeah, sorry, maybe those two other games should have rescheduled because it's Silksong.
You definitely couldn't play this on a 13-inch CRT. That's all I'm saying. It has to be on a big screen. Okay, Silksong it is. Ryan, what are you picking?
Blue, do you hate me?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Two Metroidvanias and an action third person.
I thought you knew that.
Yeah, this is going to be 0 for me. Only because I don't like Metroidvanias. I don't like third-person action adventure games, and I like to see Blue get annoyed that I have a moratorium on everything Team Cherry. So that is a huge 0 for me this week. I'll stick with what I'm already playing, which is mobile tower defense game.
Well, I mean, you could also play NBA 2K26. Star Wars Outlaws is getting a port to Switch too. You can do that. Chronos: The New Dawn actually is also getting really good reviews. What is this?
I could also try to lick my own butt, but I'm not going to do that either.
Yeah. So there's options for you, Mr. Attitude. But yes, I do.
I could never reach.
How'd you wreck your back?
Exactly. So did I hear you say that you don't like third-person action adventure games?
No, like the one that it reminds me of is like Monster Hunter. At least from like the combat perspective.
Okay, so the James Bond game is not going to be up your alley then.
As far as shooters, I'm more comfortable with. When you got to do like these big elaborate movements with like a spear or a sword and stuff, it just becomes really cumbersome for me, at least. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to click well with me.
Okay.
What about you, Johnny?
Realistically, I mean, any of these games I could see myself playing. Hell is Us, it looks like run of the mill. Everything else is out. It's just like I don't know the concept. I don't know the story behind it. So I'm a little hesitant to say that I would pick it up automatically. It looks fine. I just need to know more about it. Samsara, the Adventure of Samsara, like I'm looking at the trailer of this game and I am pleasantly surprised by the graphics and how it's like, it's a Metroidvania platformer. I think it looks pretty amazing. What?
Tiny sprite.
Yeah, it's very, very tiny. Like this
Thank you.
we playing it like. Huh?
So you're gonna have to get the bifocal to play this game. Like what up, John says the sprite needs to be more girthy.
Yeah, it needs to be thicker. Adventure of Samsara, I think I'm loving how it looks, but I mean, come on, if we're being realistic, it's going to be Silksong this week. Silksong. I can't say that 3 times fast. My kids are asking me about it. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to pick it up is it released physically tomorrow?
Not yet.
Not yet. Oh, that's right. It's not until later on in the month or something like that. Okay. So I probably won't get it immediately. I want to wait for a physical release. And once it's on the Switch physically, I probably will pick it up.
But see, you get it digitally, then you get the physical version and you can keep it sealed.
Oh, damn you. You make a good point.
Bucks.
It's 20. Yeah,
big spender.
Right. At $20, I think it's a no-brainer. So yeah, damn it, I'll probably pick it up tomorrow on my Switch, and then whenever it comes out physically, I'll probably pick it up there. But yeah, Silksong is the game of the week that I'm picking up.
Need to set my profile to private so you can't see if I pick it up or not.
I actually am looking forward to everybody complaining, like everybody who didn't really play Hollow Knight and gets caught up in the hype of Silksong buys it and goes, "Why is it so hard?"
Exactly. Can we get an easy mode?
Right. Looking forward to those people.
Thank you, Tkan81. He said, "It's so sad that RGB is just choosing to have a less full life."
Oh.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
A less full. Say what now?
I like to be full by my own choosing.
All right, before we move on, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. This segment is proudly sponsored by the Retro Game Club podcast. It's a fantastic, family-friendly retro gaming podcast. In each episode, Rob and a guest pick 2 games to play and discuss, as well as news, interviews, and other topics. This week, they want to know, if storage space and money were of no issue, what arcade cabinets would you have? Visit them at retrogameclub.net or follow the link in the show notes.
All of them. All of them. Every single fucking one of them. All of them.
Every single one.
Okay. Not every single one, but I mean, I'm talking about the original Nintendo cabinets. Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Versus, the Castlevania, Excitebike. Actually, I'm not sure if they had an Excitebike dedicated one. Duck Hunt, the Play Choice 10s, Popeye, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3, Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter 2, all of the Street Fighters, like Marvel vs. Capcom, the fighters and all that. Yeah, all of them. Yes.
All right, I'm going to up the ante here. Pick one.
Fuck you. No.
Later.
What?
He said fuck you. I said later. No, I cannot do that. He refuses.
Yeah, absolutely refuse.
Fair enough. If I had to pick one, right? I would probably, it's the feeling at the moment, because this will change depending on my mood, right? But I would really, really like a original Punch-Out arcade.
Yes.
I want one of those so bad.
Somebody was selling one in my area a couple of months ago for like $2,000.
I would absolutely pay $2,000 for one.
Yeah, I think it's worth it. It's 100% worth it.
Yep.
Simon Astor says Polybius.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, that too. And
Yeah.
I would not be opposed to an X-Men arcade cabinet, the big, huge
the
chonker, the thick
6,
boy.
Yeah.
But the problem with X-Men is that it's like a continuous loop. It doesn't end.
No,
I
there's an
don't-
ending to it.
I don't.
You can beat Magneto. I think what it does though is it just restarts after you beat Magneto.
Yeah, so it's like, and I beat it before in the arcade.
So Donnie is initially saying, I want Donkey Kong, but then I don't want X-Men because it doesn't end.
No, if I had to choose just one, I want to feel accomplished and not just something that repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats.
To be fair, Donkey Kong does have an end. There's
Yes.
a kill screen, level 26.
Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm going full on light gun games. Those are my jam when it comes to arcades. So it's Time Crisis, Area 51, Virtua Cop, House of the Dead, Carnival.
Carnival, so good.
Yeah, I don't know. So many more of the Jurassic Park light gun games.
Mhm.
Love those.
Loads of fun, and obviously you're getting to play with another person, and just the experience and the camaraderie you get, and yelling at them like, "Oh, you got to reload your freaking gun! What are you doing?"
And that would be the best part, is that I could actually make sure they were maintained to the point where they work and the sights aren't like 6 inches to the left.
That is one thing that drives me wild, especially with the mechanic reload ones, is that after a while there's so many people just like going like that, right?
Like
you
what?
Can recap that if you want to.
They're trying to reload an old World War I gun.
I was thinking the shotgun from Carnival, but whatever. Feel free to clip that. Yeah.
Right.
So they end up just stop working, and I hate that. It just drives me wild.
Yeah.
Light the liars and have some fun. Eat your heart out on a sesame seed bun.
It's delicious.
That's beautiful.
All right, so why don't we go ahead and jump into our retro rewind?
All right. Well, this is not a retro rewind this week. It's more of a retrospective. Ooh. And with the release of Donkey Kong Bonanza, I think we take a little trip down memory lane and take a look back at what Donkey Kong used to be before we got here to Donkey Kong Bonanza. Just a second here. Boop and boop. So the Donkey Kong game series began with the classic 1981 arcade game, then evolved into the popular 1994 Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo, shifting to 3D with Donkey Kong 64 in 1999, and later explored rhythm games like Donkey Konga and racing games such as Diddy Kong Racing. More recent installments, including Donkey Kong Country Returns and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, while Donkey Kong Bonanza marks a new era for the franchise on the Switch 2. In order for us to see where we're at, we have to take a look back at where we've been. Now, the OG Donkey Kong in 1991, it made its first appearance in his very own video game. This platformer was designed by Shigeru Miyamoto and Gunpei Yokoi. In this game, you play as Jumpman, aka Mario, who is trying to rescue your Lady Pauline from the evil clutches of Donkey Kong. Yes, it's his game, and he's the enemy. What's funny is that this isn't the last lady that Jumpman, aka Mario, attempts to rescue from the clutches of some evil creature. Did you know that Donkey Kong was actually created to salvage unsold arcade cabinets following the failure of Nintendo's Radar Scope? Did you know that this is the first video game to feature jumping? Donkey Kong went on to become the highest grossing game of 1981 and 82. It was ported to the Game & Watch, where it sold 8 million units, and Nintendo also licensed it to Coleco, where it was not only ported to their system, the ColecoVision, but also as a miniature tabletop version of the arcade game. I actually have it sitting up there right next to Pac-Man. Now, 2 more arcade games, Donkey Kong Jr. and Donkey Kong 3, kept players enthralled and challenged, as well as releases on the Nintendo Entertainment System and Game Boy. We were treated to Donkey Kong as an animated character in Saturday's Supercade, as well as his own cereal to keep us fueled for long arcade sessions. But after a while, things started to slow down for old Donkey Kong. He just wasn't as popular anymore. The furry beast fell on hard times, and as the decade turned and new systems were released, it looked like Donkey Kong just might have kidnapped Pauline for the last time and thrown his last barrel. Now, did you guys remember the arcade cereal or the cereal that Donkey Kong had, or the cartoon?
I do. I don't know that I ever ate it, though. I know that I always asked for it and was pretty much always told no. But yeah.
I remember. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I don't think I was alive when it was available. I got to be honest.
I don't think you were either. Well, no, you
Yeah.
were born in '85, so there was still. I don't think your parents were feeding you
Right, exactly.
Captain Crunch-esque cereal at that age. So.
Crush it up into a bottle and
Right, a little puree it with some milk. There you go. So in the early 90s, Nintendo had sought a game to compete with Sega's Aladdin. They commissioned Rare, a British studio founded by Tim and Chris Stamper, with the task. Rare assembled 12 developers to work on Donkey Kong Country over 18 months. Donkey Kong Country was inspired by the Super Mario series and was one of the first home console games to feature pre-rendered graphics, achieved through a compression technique that converted 3D models into SNES sprites with little loss of detail. It was the first Donkey Kong game neither produced nor directed by the franchise's creator, Shigeru Miyamoto, though he contributed design ideas. Now, Tim Stamper, inspired by Mortal Kombat's use of digitized footage in place of hand-drawn art, suggested developing a platform game that used pre-rendered graphics. Nintendo granted the Stampers permission to use the Donkey Kong intellectual property. The franchise had largely been dormant since the unsuccessful Donkey Kong 3, so Nintendo figured that licensing it posed minimal risk. Some sources indicate that the Stampers obtained the license after Nintendo offered them their catalog of characters, and they chose Donkey Kong. Conversely, the lead designer Greg Mayles and his brother Steve recalled that it was Nintendo that requested a Donkey Kong game. Donkey Kong's creator, Shigeru Miyamoto, said that Rare approached Nintendo and offered to handle Donkey Kong since other developers were preoccupied with franchises such as Mario and The Legend of Zelda. Now, Howard Lincoln unveiled Donkey Kong Country at the Consumer Electronics Show in Chicago, which took place from June 23rd to 25th, 1994. The unveiling was the finale of Nintendo's conference and did not reveal that Donkey Kong Country was an SNES game until the end of the presentation, fooling the audience into believing that it was for the upcoming Nintendo 64. Greg Mayles recalled the audience was stunned in silence before bursting into applause. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know if they showed anything from the Nintendo 64 in 1994. And if you saw Donkey Kong Country, and they told you it was for the Super Nintendo, do you think your jaw would have hit the floor like theirs? Because I feel like the Super Nintendo was Star Fox after that, or was that before?
Like 94, yeah.
So I feel like we know, or we would have known, that the Super Nintendo was as powerful and it could have done something like that.
I don't know.
I
don't look at Star Fox and think to myself like, wow, that's great graphics.
Yeah, me neither. But
it's polygonal shit.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, we can say, yeah, of course the Super Nintendo was capable of that, but nobody had used it in that way
Sure.
before. It looked completely different. So I suppose you can be forgiven for, like you said, that early in 94, when you probably really hadn't seen anything of substance done on the N64 to think, well, this must be the new system because look at it.
Yeah, and
I think at the time it was even called the Ultra 64. It wasn't even just the N64.
Yeah. But also of note, everyone listening, if you have not heard our interview with Rare's Kev Bayless, go check it out. It's episode 21.
Yeah.
While you were talking there too, I picked up one of my fun finds that I've had.
Ooh, Donkey Kong, yes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any nipples, though.
He doesn't have any nipples. They're really furry.
Hey, so are mine.
Yeah, and this one says it's from 1982. So
that's awesome.
This is older than I am.
And just to reiterate, I think you nailed it when you said that there was nothing on the Super Nintendo that even resembled what Donkey Kong Country looked like at the time.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So Donkey Kong Country became divisive in the years following its release. Eurogamer wrote that it became popular to dislike it in the early 2000s, and it was often described as one of the most overrated video games. For example, Vice wrote that it did not deserve to be considered a classic, and alongside GameSpy, called its gameplay unremarkable and lacking depth. According to IGN, critics accused Donkey Kong Country of sacrificing gameplay for the sake of a short-run attention grab and quick impulse sales, which US Gamer attributed to the flim-flammery of its visuals and the relative mundanity of its actual game design. US Gamer wrote the game was often criticized as an example of style over substance, with gameplay that was arguably inferior to SNES launch games such as Super Mario World and Super Castlevania 4. GameSpy complained that Donkey Kong Country overshadowed games such as Yoshi's Island, which it considered superior.
That crying noise?
Yeah. To plug another podcast episode, I went on Retro Blast podcast and we talked about Donkey Kong Country, and we talked about this at length. So go on over to Retro Blast podcast, look up the Donkey Kong Country episode. But yeah, we spent quite a long time talking about why it became popular years later to hate on Donkey Kong Country and all the reasons we disagreed.
I think Donkey Kong Country has a fantastic gameplay. It's really tight platforming.
Right.
And I love the use of barrels and the hidden sections and stuff. I mean, it's...
Right.
I never thought for once, oh, well, this is shit.
Right. Where every level has its own unique setup and design that's going on. The music, David Wise, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And so it mainly, in my opinion, it's just what tends to happen when games get a lot of hype, and then like there has to be an equal and opposite reaction.
Of course.
So we have to hate it because it was hyped, not because it deserves it, but because it was hyped.
And I think if you compare it to something like Super Mario World, right? It's the same concept. You're different levels. You're doing a bunch of jumping on different things, collecting different things. So the gameplay itself is nothing new, but the way they did it with the sprites and the graphics and everything, that was. And also, if you look at the boss battles, right? The boss battles was the typical Super Mario Brothers 3, jumping on something's head 3 times. There you go. Super simplistic, super easy. So it almost looks like a copycat of gameplay from Super Mario World and Super Mario Brothers 3. So with that, I could agree. It's not monumentous. It's not game changing, but it's something. It's still cool.
It's still fun.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And the game itself is challenging, especially the minecart level. Holy crap.
Which I recently taught Blue how to get past that very quickly for a game that she thought she had mastered.
Whoa.
I did not know there was a skip there.
Whoa. All right, hold on.
He schooled me. He
schooled you on Donkey Kong Country?
Yep, he did.
Wow.
He can be the Donkey Kong Country daddy.
He's the DK. You're the daddy. He's the DK daddy.
Yep.
Stop throwing these titles out.
Going on Discord right now.
Well, in the years following its release, rumors spread that Miyamoto disliked Donkey Kong Country and found it amateurish, and had created the hand-drawn art style of Yoshi's Island in retaliation for its pre-rendered visuals. Miyamoto spoke highly of Donkey Kong Country in a 2000 interview. He said that Rare breathed new life into Donkey Kong, had demonstrated excellent research into what made a Nintendo game work, and proved they could be trusted with the Donkey Kong franchise. However, the author Stephen L. Kent claimed Miyamoto said that Donkey Kong Country proves gamers will put up with mediocre gameplay if the art is good, in a 1995 Electronic Games interview. Kent said that Nintendo's marketing department had rejected Yoshi's Island as it lacked Donkey Kong Country's pre-rendered graphics, and that this is possibly what motivated Miyamoto's remark. Miyamoto denied this in 2010, noting that he was very involved in Donkey Kong Country and had corresponded with Stamper throughout development. In 2014, US Gamer described Kent's claim as seemingly apocryphal, and in 2019, the video game historian Frank Cifaldi found that the Electronic Games interview did not contain the alleged quote from Miyamoto. Could you imagine that your own company rejected the art style of your game? You are pretty much the heart and soul of Nintendo, and they say, no, this is not what we want. We want Donkey Kong Country. And Miyamoto just looks at them as like, do you know who you're talking to?
I'm the Nintendo daddy.
Yeah, right. He's the OG Nintendo daddy. Now, Donkey Kong Country received critical acclaim and was lauded as a paradigm shift that set new standards for video games. Reviewers praised the gameplay for its variety and depth and even earned many Game of the Year awards. Donkey Kong Country's visual appeal helped the SNES remain popular in a period of uncertainty for cartridge-based games. Consumers were unfamiliar with 3D graphics at the time, and according to an official Nintendo magazine, by bringing next-generation graphics to the SNES just 12 days before the PlayStation's Japanese launch, Donkey Kong Country persuaded consumers that an immediate upgrade was unnecessary. The Donkey Kong Country series re-established Donkey Kong as one of Nintendo's most popular and profitable franchises. Donkey Kong Country heralded Donkey Kong's transition from villain to hero. Rare's redesign became his standard appearance, and its gameplay format was followed by sequels. The game inspired an animated series that ran for 40 episodes from 1997 to 2000, and Diddy Kong starred in a Nintendo 64 racing game spin-off, Diddy Kong Racing. Following Dixie Kong's Double Trouble, the Country series went on hiatus until Donkey Kong Country Returns, developer by Retro Studios, was released for the Wii on Donkey Kong Country's 16th anniversary in 2010. A sequel, Donkey Kong Country Topical Freeze, was released for the Wii U in 2014, and 11 years later, we now have Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I am understanding is a phenomenal game. Have either of you played it yet?
I've watched Ducks play it, and it looks legit. I mean, it's one of those games where everything is hidden in plain sight, which is kind of cool.
Okay.
So you're trying to manipulate the environment in order to find different, items, MacGuffins, whatever it is. And it just sounds like it's one of those games that you can explore. Where I think I struggled. The only Donkey Kong game that I think I've struggled with is on the N64, just because I think it's difficult to platform with that controller. Game itself is great. It's just really hard to platform with that controller. Yeah.
So it doesn't feel like the releases for the Wii, the N60, the Wii, the N64, and the Wii U have really done the series any kind of justice. But now it seems like we're getting back to form. So we spent about 10 years after Donkey Kong 3 for Donkey Kong Country to come out, and now it's been 20 something years, 30. Good Lord.
You can stop saying numbers. It's okay.
31 years for another top quality Donkey Kong game to be released. So, yeah. That, my friends, was a little retrospective and a trip down memory lane with our friend Donkey Kong.
Very nice. Love Donkey Kong, always have. It's one of those arcade games that's easily accessible to get into. You can understand how to play it relatively shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Mastering it, it's hard as shit. As soon as you get past that first stage, then it's like it really, the gauntlet is thrown down. It's funny how many people though I've talked to that says they've never beaten that first stage.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
I could never get past the barrels. Well, there's a lot more.
The pies, man.
The pie level, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that level.
Just because, it keeps sending you back and forth on the conveyor belt.
Mm-hmm. Changes it up so quickly.
Mm-hmm. TK85 said Tropical Freeze does not get enough love. That game should have been enough to make the Wii U a success. I agree, TK85. I actually really, really liked that game.
That's what he's doing.
Can't stop looking at the table pitching, to be honest. Donkey Konga. Did we mention that one?
I mean, it was a rhythm game. Yeah, so it took the series in a different direction. It wasn't the platformer that we all kind of know and love, but it was different.
I will say with Donkey Konga though is that you find those bongos in retro shops all the time.
Yeah. Nobody wants them.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to episode 181 of Gamers Week, and a big thank you to the Retro Game Club podcast, Love Retro BTW, Pixel Pond Production Company, absolutely the best podcast, a work in progress, for sponsoring this episode. Don't forget to check out their links in the show notes. And if you want to connect with Gamers Week, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Gamers Week PC. Watch us right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/GamersWeekPodcast, where we will record live every Wednesday at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Email us at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com. Visit our merch store at gamers-week-podcast.creator-spring.com. Do it the easy way and follow the link in the show notes. And last but not least, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/gamersweek. And finally, since you made it all the way to the end of the episode, please leave us a rating and review to let us know how we did. We really do value your feedback. And while you're there, consider subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice.
Choice.
Well, thank you all for stopping by tonight. Do us all a favor and send some kudos to Blue for sacrificing herself and getting the title of Daddy of Daddies.
I'm going like radio silence for the next 2 weeks, because when Terry beats Silksong in 2 days, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see screenshots. I don't want to see anything on Blue Sky. So I'm gonna disappear for 2 weeks. And then I'll reemerge.
Is a beast at how much he's able to play games. That is uncanny.
I promise to use the spoiler tag on the images.
Terry always does. I'm just teasing, but yeah, I know that you'll have the game beat so quickly, and probably before I can even hardly download it.
Yeah. All right, guys, that does it for us. We will be back on Monday with a live playthrough. Not sure what we're going to play now. We'll be talking about that over the weekend. But Monday, definitely back here on Twitch for a gameplay. And then next Wednesday, we'll be back live with another episode. We leave you tonight with just a heartfelt thank you. We're going to go ahead and log off. You guys have a great night. And happy All Silksong's Eve.
Silksong's Eve.
What do we need to leave by the fireplace? Like, is it milk and cookies, or is it like a needle and thread?
A rancid egg.
A rancid egg and a grub.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't celebrate this holiday.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah. Take care. Good night. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.